Hey there, Cancer. It's Keegan. Hope you guys have been doing well. As you see from the thumbnail and the description, if you've clicked on this reading is a little bit different than what I typically do on the channel here. As I'm shuffling the cards and putting the cards in place, I'm going to do a little bit of talking and explaining exactly how this reading works, just because I want people to be clear about what's going on and try to avoid any confusion. So if you are a Cancer and you've clicked on this reading, this is a reading for Cancer, but I'm not going to be talking about you. I'm going to be talking about the other person in your life. So how can you utilize this reading? Obviously, if you're in a relationship, then the person that you're in the relationship with would be the other person. If you are in a relationship but you have an interest in someone else, then that person might be your other person. If you're single and you have an interest in someone, this can be about them. If you're single and you're not interested in anyone, you can still watch this reading. It would just be about who's approaching you next, who would be the next potential romantic partner to enter into your life. So that is who I will be focusing in on. I will be setting the intention that whoever watches this video, I'm going to be tuning into the person that they have an interest in. With that being said, I also want to just say these readings have been very intense so far. So if you are not in a place emotionally where you can hear potentially bad news, please do not watch this particular reading until you are in a space where you're able to deal with it. I don't hold back. I don't sugarcoat. I'm not a reader who just tells fluff and tells people what they want to hear. I'm going to read the cards exactly as they are, even if it is bad news. So with that being said, I'm just going to do this final cut in 2 shuffles. I'm going to start putting the cards into place. I also want to say, so if you are a Cancer, then you can watch this particular reading. If you know the sun sign of the person that you're interested in, if you do know what their sun sign is, then you can go and watch that reading as well to get additional insight into this person. So for example, if you are a Cancer but you are interested in a Scorpio, you can go watch the Scorpio reading as well to get some additional insight. As you can see, I'm just taking cards right off the top of the deck. I've put some of these have 1 card, some have 3, some have 2. I just went with what I felt was needed in each area. I think we're good here. I do just want to mention as well, I have my Oracle deck here off to the side. At the end of the reading, I will be doing, I'll pull 1 or 2 Oracle cards to give you some advice or guidance around this connection. I'm going to start here with these 2 cards, then I'll read the top row and then the bottom row. I'm going to turn this overlay off. I will remind you what each of these stacks means as I go through them. We are ready to dive in. I think I gave you everything that I've been saying at the beginning. I'm pretty sure I did. So let's just dive into this, Cancer. Let's see what's going on. So before I flip these cards over, I just want to say the reason I start with these 2 cards here is because this is going to give me insight into who this person truly is at their core and how they're acting or what they're presenting. It'll let me start to see if this person is being honest in terms of how they are showing themselves versus who they truly are, or if there is some sort of conflict going on here that you should be aware of. So let's look at who this person truly is. We have 2 cards here. So we have the Father of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, upright, and then we have the 7 of Swords, which is also upright. This is an interesting and kind of tricky combination, to be quite honest with you. So this person, in terms of what I'm getting here, in terms of their career, their success in life, their financial security, I think that this person truly does have what they say that they have. So if this person is someone who, says that they have a solid job, if they say that their career is very stable, if they say that they're educated, if they say that they are financially secure, this would represent someone who is like that. Now, this is a very interesting card to come out with this, because with the 7 of Swords, this is someone who might not be completely honest. It could be someone that potentially has a tendency to overcommit or say that they're more invested in something than they are. I'm picking up on that in terms of relationship. The other thing that I'm getting from this particular card with this person is they could get spooked fairly easily if a relationship starts to become too serious. They might be someone who runs away. There's also something here energetically that is a bit of insecurity. And again, it's like the King of Pentacles would be very secure when it comes to matters of business and finance, and they should have a stability around at least the notion of a home life or a committed. They would have at least comfort when it comes to commitment. But there is a certain level of insecurity that we'll probably get to in these other cards. We'll get more insight into that. But I just want to mention that there is some type of insecurity around relationships. And I'm actually getting the sense of someone fleeing, someone running away from commitment, specifically from commitment. It's very interesting, though, having this King of Pentacles come out with fear of commitment. So I want to see what else comes out. Let's see how this person acts. What's going on in terms of what they present to people. So we have the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords, both of them coming out up right here. I think I want to start with this 9. I think that's the best place to start. This is... I don't think that this is off track from who this person truly is, because this card represents a lot of anxiety and worry. There's a bit of kind of like a lack of hope. I think that this person, for whatever reason, even though they do want to have a commitment, they want to have a relationship, there's something that's happened to them in the past, represented again by this Three of Swords as well. Some sort of heartbreak, some sort of very painful ending to a relationship that's left them a little bit rocked in terms of being willing to get back into that. And I think that they do show that. It's very interesting because in terms of how this person would be, I think that they would be, I'm feeling that they would be honest. They would be pretty upfront that they've had some bad experiences in the past, or at least one huge major relationship that ended in a very painful and dramatic way. It could be a divorce. It could just be a long-term relationship that ended in some sort of betrayal. But I feel like they're upfront with that. With the cards that came out in terms of how they're acting, it explains this, the Seven of Swords. But I think that they would probably say, like, I really do believe in commitment. I believe in relationships. I believe in wanting to have a partner, wanting to have a soulmate, wanting to have that type of connection. But I'm very gun shy about it. I have a lot of baggage around it. But I think they're pretty honest about that. So I don't see anything here that's very concerning to me. I don't see any huge conflicts, especially the fact that, the two cards coming out in terms of how they're acting would be someone who's very upfront and direct about the amount of pain that they're carrying around something from the past. Hey there, it's Keegan, and I am jumping in here in the middle of the reading just to let you know that I've decided to offer a special on readings during the month of October 2020 only. I have limited spaces for this. After doing these readings, I decided that I feel like a lot of you are going to want to get more information or follow up on these readings, and I know that the world is weird and money is tight, and so I wanted to try to come up with a way that I could still offer personal readings and have them be affordable, so that if you do have more questions or if you want to explore this a little bit more deeply with me in a personal reading, I might be able to make that happen. So as you can see on the screen, I'm offering 4 different levels. Is basically $1 a minute for a reading. You can do a 20-minute, 30-minute, 45, or 60-minute reading for me. If you're interested in this, you should send me an email, keaghantarot@gmail.com. You can see how my name is spelled there, so keaghantarot@gmail.com. Let me know which of the readings you want, and I'll send you an invoice, and then that will confirm your slot. And again, there will be limited spaces, so if you're interested in this, let me know as soon as possible. I will be posting all of these readings all at the same time, so everyone gets a fair shot at claiming their seat. And if I do run out of spaces, I will let people know that if I still get emails beyond what I have capacity to do during the month of October. I'm going to send you right back into the reading now. Let's see what's going on in their mind. So you have the Two of Swords. Lots of swords here. So you could be dealing with an air sign. I just want to state that because we do have a lot of swords coming out here. Doesn't necessarily have to be an air sign, but 4 out of the 5 cards are swords. In this person's mind, they are in a place in which their mind is one of not really knowing exactly what it is that they want or what they want to do or what their next step forward is. There's a great deal of confusion in their mind. And I feel like it's all related to stuff that I've already talked about a little bit here. There is a desire within them to be able to have something that is truly committed, something that's real, something that's stable, something that's long-term, but they have a lot of doubts around whether that's possible. I feel very strongly that this person already had a situation in which they thought they had found the one. They went all in, whether that is, like I said, through a marriage or through a very long investment in another person, and ultimately they were betrayed by that person. And it's left them in a place where there's a lot of conflict in their mind specific to relationships. And when they get in their mind about it causes problems for them. It causes a situation in which like I feel like they get in their head and they would probably jump ship, pull out of that relationship before they could get hurt. But let's see what's going on here with the heart cards, and then we'll talk a little bit just summarizing these things. You have the Four of Cups. It has come out upright here. I think that this really represents a desire within their heart to move beyond what feels like disconnection. I think that more than anything, what I'm getting here, the other card just to mention is the Eight of Cups reversed. I'm talking about both of them kind of combined, so I just wanted to mention that. With this Eight of Cups, there's a fear within them of getting hurt again. But I do feel like within their heart, they're working to try to unravel things and get rid of this confusion, to get rid of the pain, to learn how to trust again. But it's a process that is taking time. It's a process that is, like I just feel like it's dragging on. Despite the effort of what they're trying to do, their mind is blocked, their heart is blocked, and there's so much working against who they truly are and what they actually want. And I do feel that there's a big struggle going on within them to try to figure this out. This person carries a lot of mental anguish with them. Their heart is broken too about what transpired in the past with whoever it was that they were in a relationship with. And again, this is a general reading on YouTube. So the person listening to me, this could be your ex. This could be insight into your ex and how they feel about a relationship that ended. But this could also be someone that you've met or that you're involved with who's carrying a lot of baggage from a previous relationship. And in a general reading on YouTube, it's impossible for me to go that in depth on general readings because I'm potentially reading for thousands of you. So take this as it makes sense to you. But this person in the present, as I'm tuning into them, they have a lot of mental anguish around a relationship that mattered to them, that they were invested in, that they were putting an effort into, that ended in a very traumatic, painful, and abrupt manner. Okay? Let's take a look at their future and see what's going on here. I know I put several cards down here. So this is really interesting. Okay? So King of Pentacles coming out here in terms of who they truly are. Now, in their future, what's very interesting to me is that you have two additional kings coming out. You have the King of Cups reversed, the King of Wands reversed, and then you have the Queen of Wands coming out as well. So you do have a matched pair in the future. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment, but I want to address this in terms of in the future what's going on with this person. The King of Cups, when it's reversed, represents someone who is very detached, very unfeeling. They've checked out of their emotions. They are not willing to be in a situation where they are dealing with any sort of intense love. They're in a space in which their emotions are a bit out of control. And I do feel like that is the phase that this person stays in for a period of time in the future. This is all of this stuff that we talked about. It's them coming to a realization that that's what's happened with them and understanding that even though they are this King of Pentacles, that really just means they want to have money, they want to have success, they want to have a good career, they want to have a partner, they want to have a home life. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're equipped to do it because they have to figure out how to deal with all this emotional stuff. And I do want to say that I feel like this person is someone who definitely, they carry their emotions in their mind. That's why I'm saying I really think for a lot of you, you might be dealing with an air sign. This is very interesting because I think that there is a shift within this person, and Um, I want to talk about this very honestly in terms of how I interpret the different kings and queens of the cups and pentacles and swords and wands. So for me as a reader, the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, they are a good match. They're very well matched to each other. They're not necessarily um, committed, and I want to emphasize that. It isn't that they can't have a long-term relationship. It isn't that they aren't well suited for each other. But the King and Queen of Wands are very social. They like attention. They really enjoy being in a space in which they can be social. They can rely on their charm and their charisma. They like utilizing their ability to get people to like them and get people to engage with them to help navigate and advance themselves in a social manner. So I think in the future with this person, it's very possible that while they were trying to sort out the emotional aspect of what's happened here, because keep in mind who they truly are at their core is this King of Pentacles. Like we've already established who they truly are. In the future, I think that they're really going to behave more as the King of Wands while they're trying to work on the emotional aspect of things, meaning they're probably not going to be looking for something that's an actual, settled down white picket fence, marriage, home life. They're going to be looking for someone that they can have fun with. It's very interesting because this type of energy has come out in several of the readings that I've done, where it's not necessarily. I don't think that's a bad thing. If you know that you have emotional things that you need to work through, that you have things that you need to figure out, that you have things that you need to solve and deal with, but you also want to be able to go out and meet people and have fun and be social, um, there's nothing wrong with that. It only becomes an issue if you're not honest about that. And I feel like this person, in terms of how they're acting, what's going on in their head, what's going on in their heart, I feel like they are being very clear. They're saying to people who are coming towards them, I'm not looking for anything serious, but if you want to hang out, if you want to hook up, if you want to just go have fun, then I'm happy to do that, but I don't want it to get serious. I'm not looking for that sort of relationship. Now, depending on where you're at, the person listening to me, that may or may not be a good match for you. If you're also in a situation where you're not wanting anything serious, you're not looking for a commitment, you're not in the space where you want to have that type of connection with another person, and you're just looking for someone fun to be with and hang out with, and you know that you can keep your emotions and your feelings in check, this could be a really good match for you. I think often what happens is that people, um, they can't allow people to be in the space where they're at. Meaning, if you're in a space where you're wanting someone to build a life with and move towards something that's serious and get engaged and get married, then this person just isn't right for you. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that they're manipulating or playing games, because I feel like the person I'm reading for, at least, given what came out in terms of how they act, how they're acting, they're being very clear that they're hurt, that they're very confused about whether or not they even want to endure another relationship. They have a lot of pain and suffering that they need to deal with, and I feel like their heart is very guarded. So this person isn't being confusing in terms of what they're presenting, but if it sounds confusing to you, what I would say is to take a step back and ask yourself if you're projecting onto this person the things that you want, the things that you want this person to desire, because I don't sense that with this person. I think that they're being pretty clear. And so, yeah, is this technically a player? Yeah, but that's what they're going to be doing. And if you are aware of that and you're hoping, well, maybe that'll change soon, it's not going to. It's not something that's going to shift, because in their future, it's more of the same in terms of having these emotional things that they have to deal with and making a decision that if I'm going to partner up, if I'm going to choose to be partnered with someone, then it's going to be a fun sort of connection. They're not looking for anything that's serious. Okay. And I just wanted to really emphasize that, because I think a lot of times people get their hopes up that things are going to shift soon, and they trick themselves into seeing shifts and changes that might not be there. So what the cards are saying is for the future, this person is going to be in that same sort of energy. So if you're trying to make decisions based on whether or not this might shift in the next 3 to 6 months, I don't think that it's going to. Okay, so let's take a look and see what this person has in terms of secrets. I put 2 cards down here. Yeah, so secrets here, they have the Empress reversed and the World reversed. So some um, pretty major energy here. I want to start with this Empress card. And again, don't get hung up on gender. Okay, so here's what I get here. I think that one of the secrets this person might be keeping is that they really don't want to have kids. They don't want to have kids. And so if you're listening to this in terms of you're watching this wanting to find out information about a male, then they don't want to have children. If you're watching this in terms of trying to get information about a woman, then they don't want to be pregnant, they don't want to be a mother, they don't want to have a child. But I think that they might not be very open about that particular aspect of it. It could be a situation in which this person was in a long relationship before and has children. And so they might appear to be a very loving parent, right? Who they are, they're a truly loving parent. And so um, you might assume that this means that they would be open to having more children, but I think that they've made their mind up about that, that they don't necessarily want that. The other thing that I will say that could be a little bit of a secret with this person, um, there could be some codependent issues that they hide very well, especially with that King of Cups coming out, this Eight of Cups reversed, and then the Empress card coming out in terms of the secret. Be aware that there could be codependent issues with this person. Like I do feel that. I think it's part of what they will eventually work through. I think this ability to detach themselves from the feelings is part of that healing work that's going around or that they're going through to deal with the codependent tendencies that they might have. This World card, the other thing that I think could very well be a secret that they're not being very open about is they might not be finished completely with this past relationship. It could be a situation in which, even though this was really painful and they were done dirty, if this person said to them, "I want to try again," they would probably be willing to try again with that person. I don't necessarily know if they should, because it does feel like this relationship was super painful. But with this World card coming out reversed, it literally means that there's no closure. Something is incomplete. There's unfinished business, or there's some sort of lingering connection to whatever this is from the past. But again, I think that might not be obvious. I think if you talked to this person, they might say, based on all of this that we've seen, no, this was a horrible relationship and I'm done with that person. I never want to see them again. But I don't know for sure if I fully, truly believe that. In terms of the plan, you have the Six of Cups coming out reversed here. Um, mm, well, okay. So I think this is more confirmation that they might not be done with what was before. The Six of Cups, when it's reversed, represents energy of someone who is um, potentially living in the past, meaning they're really fixated on the past. It also is a card that can represent leaving. So I think it's just more of this conflict that we've seen going on with this person. Um, For some of you, I want to say here, for some of you, it could be a situation in which this person has not actually left this relationship yet. This thing in their mind could be confusion and indecision about whether or not to leave. Seeing this World card coming out here in terms of their secret, it could be that they're actually keeping a secret about whether or not they're going to go, whether they want to close this out or not. But the plan here is definitely a bit confused. I think they're trying to map out a plan about, do I stay in the past or do I figure out how to walk away from this completely? There's lots of unresolved energy here, though. I just want to be very clear about that. There's lots of fresh emotional wounds. There's lots of confusion in terms of feelings and emotion. There's an active desire for the future to be kind of contradictory to who they are at their core and what it is that they truly want. So just be very mindful of that if this sounds like the person that you're dealing with. So then we have their goal. I put 2 cards down here. We have the 9 of Wands, which is reversed, and then we have the 6 of Coins, which has also come out reversed here. So I think in terms of this person's goal, what it is that they're actually trying to figure out how to bring into their life, they're wanting to figure out how they can become a little bit more willing to engage. They want to figure out how they can stop this emotional detachment and isolation that they've been going through, and how to overcome the resistance that they feel about opening up and trusting again. Now, the challenge to that and the other layer on top of it is that they really feel like they were taken advantage of. They feel like the connection that they had, all of this pain for them stems from feeling like they were giving and giving and giving, and they weren't getting in return. That they were putting in effort, but it wasn't appreciated. Okay, and so their goal is to try to overcome all of that. I do feel a sincere desire within this person to heal themselves and to figure it out, but it's hard. And they're still stuck on the past in a very intense way. So again, I just want to emphasize here, this person is not in a space, or not in the right phase of this journey to dive into something new with anyone. This person needs to be focused on their own healing and figuring out how to get over this emotional trauma that they felt. So, Cancer, let's pull an oracle card here for you to see if you can get some guidance around dealing with this person or navigating this connection, what's best for you. And then we will end this reading. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. Like I said, it is a bit of a different style reading for me. They have been very emotionally taxing for me. I think you had a couple that flipped. I'm just going to take those. I think there's 3. So, first card here, oneness is my true nature. I think that there are a couple of ways that I want to talk to you about this card. I think primarily what's coming through here is that it's very possible, I sense, that for those of you who have listened to this, even though I'm talking about the other person, you might have listened to it and said, yes, this makes sense about the person I'm thinking about. But I feel like for a lot of you, this reading will actually resonate for you as well. So oneness is my true nature. For me, in this deck, it represents the fact that we're all connected. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be on your own, or that you need to be, solo. It just means that there's something here that is about connection. So it's very possible that you resonate with this reading personally, and it also makes sense in terms of the other person. So everything that I've said about this other person would apply to you. Second card here says, when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So very often when we are allowing ourselves to be in a space where we're trying to think our way through something, and we're questioning, and we have a lot of doubt, the world begins to seem very unstable and uncertain, because our mind is fixating on doubt and uncertainty. So if you can find a way of just leaning into faith and believing that things will work out, things will be as they need to be, and everything will be okay, then you actually do start to shift how you see the world and how the world is for you, how you experience it. So, last card here that came out for you says, true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. And I think that this is one of my favorite cards in this deck, because I love how it's phrased. Because I think very often we focus on the triggers. We focus on what causes us to feel a certain way. And we don't ask ourselves, why do I feel that way about that? Why does this experience, or this person, or this interaction, or this event cause me to feel the way that I do? And when you ask yourself that question, what's below the trigger, right? And you don't react to the trigger, you go a little bit deeper and you ask yourself, about your feelings, then that's when you can actually start to do some healing work. I really do feel, especially with these oracle cards coming out, that this could be a situation where these two people are mirroring each other. And in that situation, I do just want to say, if you have a hard time believing anything about this other person, but you yourself feel that way, I do feel like this reading is accurate about this person. So I think, if this is something that you really want to pursue, there's lots of emotional healing that has to happen. There's lots of trauma that needs to be healed. There's lots of work that has to happen for this person to understand themselves and get back into a connection of who they are and what they want, and to have the ability to trust it. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it was helpful to you. Please go into the comments and let me know what you thought. If you want me to do more of these readings, let me know that. Like I said, they've been challenging to get through because they've all been very intense. But if this was helpful and this is really what brings good and helps people, then I'm happy to do more of this style of reading focused on the other person. So Cancers, I love you guys. As a fellow water sign, I do understand your emotions and how they are. And I will see you guys again soon with another Cancer reading. Bye.